the day when the world declared in one voice, "We will not go quietly into the night. We will not vanish without a fight. We're going to live on. We're going to survive. Today, we celebrate our Administrative Assistance Day."
Hey everybody, Sexy Matt the Pharaoh Wizard here. It's time to talk about Independence Day. Resurgence. So this one did not make my top 10 most anticipated list, and I was actually kind of planning on skipping out on this movie and catching it on DVD later. Because it felt like a cash-in to the nostalgia for the first one. So I really wasn't into the idea of this one. But I put it out on Twitter on what you guys want me to review next, and you guys told me Independence Day Resurgence.
You fucking people.
So let me talk quick about the first one. When it came out, I absolutely loved it. I had some posters of it. I thought it was just one of the most amazing movies of all time, to be honest. As I grew up and learned more about filmmaking and stuff like that, you start seeing the cracks in it, but it's still a big, dumb, fun action movie. Like, it's not winning awards, but it'll kill time and it's very enjoyable, so it really got a pass, and it's kind of become this pinnacle of being the big, dumb action movie that you can still like. So when it was announced that they were going to make Independence Day a trilogy, a giant groan went out to the internet. Because this was a lot of people's poster child for the movie that got out of the Hollywood system. They didn't make a sequel, they didn't make a prequel, they didn't make a stupid show. It was just a single movie, beginning, middle, end. It was fun, it was made well, and made a lot of money, but it was just this one single entity. So, what happened when they decided to cash in? Well, let's take a look at it, shall we? So the general plot of this movie is it takes place in real time. This movie takes place 20 years after the events of the first movie, which the movie was 20 years... Holy crap, that was 20 years ago? God damn, I'm old. Why didn't you tell me I'm old? So it's 20 years after the attacks from the first movie, and the world has become peaceful and united under, the alien attacks, and we've been able to replicate some of their technology and put it into our own system. So it's like it's current 2016, but a little bit more technologically advanced, as well as we have a moon base, which is awesome. I love moon bases. Why don't we have a moon base now? Anyways, so basically the aliens come back, and that's your plot. And I don't even really know if it's explained why they come back, per se. I think they mentioned one of the crashed ships was sending out a distress beacon and maybe got answered. It's very glossed over. But basically, they're back. And that's your general plot. They're back. So, let's talk about the characters that are in this movie. So Jeff Goldblum's back playing Jeff Goldblum. And yes, I know his character has a name, and a lot of these people's characters have names, but I don't know the character names, and neither do you. They are just the actors. Let's face it, come on. Jeff Goldblum's just playing Jeff Goldblum. But, Jeff Goldblum does his best bloomiest on this movie. So, he does a really good job being checkmate. Now Jeff Goldblum is great playing Jeff Goldblum. He does exactly what he did in the first movie. It works out well. It's fantastic. It's really fun. He does a good job. So my close personal friend Brent Spiner is back in this. He played the Area 51 doctor in the first movie, and he's back in this one. So he's been in a coma since the first movie. I thought he did get shot in the first movie, but maybe he got shot and put into a coma. I would totally believe that. That's totally fine. Works out for me. So since he was so connected to the aliens in the first movie, now that they're back, it woke him up, and so he's kind of behind on things, but he's helping out with this, and he is just having a blast with this role. Brent Spiner is just so fun. Every time he's on screen, it's amazing. You can tell he's just having a blast with this, and I'm totally along with it. He is my absolute favorite part of this movie. He just blows it away. It's amazing. So thank you, Brent Spiner. You are awesome in this movie. On the other end of that spectrum, Bill Pullman's back, and he didn't want to be here at all. It must have been some contract, or he just needed some money, because he did not want to be there. He's not in it a lot to begin with. He doesn't give a crap at all when he's in it. He's just Bill Pullman, and like he has a speech, but it's like an eighth of what the original speech was in the first movie, and just it's not as good. Yeah, he didn't want to be there. A couple other quick ones is there was a Vivica Fox cameo, so good there. It was needed too, so it was really good. I like that, enjoyed that a lot. The unneeded one was Jeff Goldblum's dad is back and had no point in being in this movie except for he was in the first movie. That's it. First movie, so he's there. He doesn't do anything in this movie. He's completely erroneous. At least in the first one, he had that moment where he, got Jeff Goldblum out of his depression and, gave him the idea to give the alien a virus. But this one, he didn't even do that. He's just there because the first movie. So we got some new characters to fill in some spots because obviously Will Smith did not return for his role. So the B. Hemsworth, Liam Hemsworth, or the Lesser Hemsworth, whichever one you want to call him, is in this, and he pretty much takes up Will Smith's role. Now I know Will Smith's character has a son in this, which I'll talk about in just a second, but Liam really fits the role of the cocky pilot with the the one-liners and things like that. That's Liam's role, or that's the B. Hemsworth role in this one. He does a good job, and it's kind of funny. I just call him the Lesser Hemsworth or the B. Hemsworth, and a lot of people say that. But he's actually in more movies. I think I've seen a lot more of Liam than I have of Chris. But when your brother is the god of thunder and your main role is Gale, yeah, you're the Lesser Hemsworth. Sorry, Liam. You're the B. Hemsworth. Anyways, so Will Smith's character had a son, and he's played by Jesse Usher, who's not Usher. It's a different guy. He does alright. He doesn't have a whole lot that he does. I'm not sure what he's really trying to pull off with this role. He doesn't have much of an arc beyond he and B. Hemsworth don't like each other at the beginning, and they're buddies at the end. I don't know. He didn't stand out to me. I do got to mention William Fincher is in this, and he does not play a bad guy. So, way to go playing against type William Fincher. So, a couple others. I mean, it is a Roland movie, so there's a million freaking actors in this with a million plot lines, but I'm trying to just stick to the main plot. So, the other people, there's a Chinese actress in here named Angel Baby, and that's not her character's name. That's what she goes by. It's weird. But she does a fantastic job, and it's nice to see an Asian actress in a main role where that's not her defining feature is being Asian. It's a little bit in this because they're obviously placating to the Chinese audience, movie audience that's been a big growing part of movies nowadays. But she does do a really good job, and I would like to see a lot more of her in the future. She was really good. And then finally, another one I want to mention is there's this big warlord guy who's just really fun. During the events of the first one, they talk about how an alien ship actually landed in Africa, and this warlord and his gang had to defeat the aliens by hand, like actually stabbing them and learning to actually hunt them down, kind of thing. And at the beginning of this one, this warlord's letting Jeff Goldblum into his camp to learn more about these aliens and what other stuff they can find out. And he kind of tags along for the rest of the movie, but he has some great times where he's taking down aliens with machetes, and it's fantastic. He's really funny. I love that guy. He just did a really good job. But like I said, there's a million other actors and actresses in this. It's nuts, so let's just move on. So what worked well about Independence Day Resurgence? I think the biggest thing that worked is they successfully raised the stakes from the first movie. This is a definite bigger problem than the first movie, which in this type of movie you need to raise the stakes of what previously happened, obviously, or it's just going to feel like rehashing all the same things. So they successfully raised the stakes, and it's done really well, and it's believable. It's just really well done, and I like that a lot. And this movie also just knows what it is. It's a big, dumb popcorn movie, and it doesn't try to be anything outside of that. It's not trying to be like a big, epic, theatrical event. It's a big, dumb popcorn movie, and it knows what it's doing, and it successfully does that. And I love that. It knew what it was setting out to do, and it did that. So that was a definite plus for it. Another thing I really liked, which is a carryover from the first movie, but I'll mention it anyways, I love the look of the alien in Independence Day. Like, just all the tentacles hanging off, and the fact that it's a suit, and they're actually inside that, and the look of that, too. In this movie, you get a lot more looks at the aliens themselves, and they just look fantastic, and it's some great practical effects done. There's very little CG on the aliens themselves. If there is, it's not noticeable outside of one point, which I'll talk about in spoilers. But yeah, the aliens look fantastic, and they kept that going, and this just made a really fun movie. If you go in knowing that this is a big, dumb popcorn movie, and you can go in and just enjoy it. No, it's not going to win awards. No, it's not, going to be a staple of the time. But it's enjoyable. It's a fun watch, and I really had a blast with it. And actually, it made me excited for the next movie. I'm really excited for the sequel, which is a huge bonus for it, because I went from really not wanting to look at this at all to being really excited for the sequel. Which, if you can let me divulge for a minute and jump off the path here and just talk about something. There's something I kind of want to mention that I thought about during this movie. So there's this trend that's been slowly bubbling up, and hopefully it gets bigger and doesn't go away, but it's what I like to call expensive cash-in movies. So your cheap cash-in movies, your Angry Birds, your Pixels, the second Ghost Rider movie, just something that's obviously cashing in. They don't give a shit. They're just going to throw it out there, and they know they're going to make some money on it, but they don't really give a crap. It's just going to be there. But there's this trend of what I'm calling expensive cash-in movies. They are cashing in on something, but they've taken the time and effort to still make it good and fun and interesting. Like the Lego Movie. The Lego Movie could have just been a really stupid cash-in movie, but they took the time to really make a good, solid movie, and a fun, enjoyable one. Things also like the Ninja Turtles, the current ones, I think they're fantastic for what they are. They're obviously not just throwing stuff at us to make some money. They took some time and effort to really make this a real movie. A lot of the comic book movies today, they're cashing in on the fact we know who these characters are already, but they're still taking time to make these good, solid movies. And another one I'd like to mention, which it really is a cash-in, is The Force Awakens. We haven't had a Star Wars in a while. They're cashing in on the fact that everyone in the world loves Star Wars, but they still made a good movie. And so it's really good to see these expensive cash-ins. And I think Independence Day Resurgence falls into that, where it's not just a cheap cash-in on the nostalgia of the first movie. They also took some time to make it good and interesting. And I just love this new thing that's been bubbling up, and I hope it continues. But anyways, not every movie is perfect, so here's my problems with Independence Day. So right off the bat, I'm going to tell you it's not as good as the first one. The first one felt a lot bigger, a lot more epic. This one's a lot more watered down of that. It just doesn't quite hit that. And there's a lot of points where they just did something because it happened in the first movie. Like your big welcome to Earth moment is, what did he say? Happy and I think it's like, are you ready for the fireworks, bitch? Or happy 4th of July, bitch? See, I can't even remember it. Like, it just wasn't quite there. I mean, of course, you need a certain Will Smithiness to pull off.
Welcome to Earth.
But, yeah, this one just did not hit as well. It's just not quite there what the first one did. And being that it's a Roland movie, like I mentioned, there's a billion subplots, and they're really more plot cul-de-sacs, where a plot just ends. It doesn't go anywhere. It's just a cul-de-sac. It just stops. Like there's this like treasure hunting ship that is monitoring the aliens drilling into the core, but they didn't really need to be there. You can just say there's a sensor there. Like that would be more believable, and we didn't need these guys on the ship that did nothing. Jeff Goldblum's dad doesn't do anything. He just wanders around, and he hops in this weird plot with these kids on a bus that goes nowhere and serves the plot at none at all. And it's just a lot of that. A lot of unneeded characters. Like there's this one I really want to mention is at the beginning of the movie, apparently Jeff Goldblum's being audited by the IRS, and when Jeff Goldblum's going to meet this warlord, the IRS guy tags along with him, and he just tags along the rest of the movie. And I'm waiting for him to do something, but he doesn't do anything. Like, I think he's supposed to be maybe comic relief, but he's not funny either. He's really annoying, and I really hate that guy. Like, he just kept popping up, and he was the absolute worst part of this movie. He just pissed me off. It's like, why are you here? Who let this guy on the base? Go away! We don't need you. There's already too many people. Go crunch some numbers or some bullshit. I don't know. I don't like you. Go away. Yeah, that guy sucked. So it's time for spoilers. So, spoilers from here on out. And go ahead and click on Jeff Goldblum if you want to go to my wrap-up. So, first big spoilers. There's not many spoilers. It's a pretty surface movie. There's not a lot of big, surprises. You're going in, you already know what's going to happen. So there's that. There is something I want to mention that I'm calling the Jesus Ball. So, in the first bit of the movie, there's an alien ship that shows up that they shoot down and it crashes on the moon. And they go and check it out and they find this Jesus Ball. And they start studying it and things, and it turns out it's a technological life form that has been sent to try and help us because their race have been fighting the aliens for ages, and they have all these weapons in their own galaxy that are set to help destroy these guys, and they have this whole army, and it kind of became this MacGuffin where they had to hide the Jesus Ball from the other aliens. It was a little weird, but it did, like I said, get me excited for the sequel because the next movie is going to be Jeff Goldblum Intergalactic Space Battles. That's awesome! Sign me up for that. I can't wait for that. But yeah, so that's a thing that's in this. And there's also a queen. So they're saying that the aliens are a hive mind and they have this queen that needs to be destroyed. Now in the first movie, killing the mothership feeding power and information to the other ships made sense. And when they destroyed that ship, the other ones, lost their navigation and crashed and all that. That's believable. That makes sense. This one's like if they kill the queen, just all the other aliens just lose their goddamn mind or something. I don't know. It's really weird. It's really, I think, just trying to give us a single thing to attack on rather than, billions of battles everywhere. But it's a little odd. And that's where the CG comes in. But they didn't do a whole lot more with the queen outside of she's just a very big version of one of the aliens. So, I don't know if it's really good or bad. I don't know. Wasn't that good. I don't know. It's weird. That's pretty much it for spoilers. So, in conclusion, this is a big, dumb, fun, stupid movie. If you know what you're going into getting, you're gonna enjoy it. Just go in knowing it's a big explosion, explosion heaven, alien fighting, one-liner spouting, dumb action movie. If you go in thinking into that, you're just gonna enjoy it. Like I said, it's not as good as the first one, but I think it's still a good, solid movie, and it was a lot of fun. And I am absolutely ready for the next movie. And I can't wait to see what happens. I don't even know when it comes out, but the next Independence Day, I'm fully on board. So let's do this. I'm Sexy Matt the Pharaoh Wizard. Until next time, hold on to your hold slots.